So, after 1 year of silence, a new upload. Meh, who cares about the audience anyways, right? Let's talk about Days Gone, a world where your worst enemy isn't just the freaker apocalypse, it's running out of gas in the middle of nowhere. Have you ever wanted to survive hordes of flesh-eating monsters while being emotionally wrecked and perpetually broke? Yeah, me neither, but here we are in this wild apocalyptic mess that we didn't exactly sign up for. Hi, my name is Enyo. You probably either know me in real life or you just stumbled upon my video. I am going to be the host of this channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get straight into the content. So, how did we even get here to the point where basically the world is, on fire? It all started with a virus, but it wasn't your typical zombie virus. No. These are freakers. They're faster, stronger, and just smart enough to be extra annoying. The whole mess began with David Gorman, a research intern at the Iron Butte Cloverdale lab. David thought something was fishy with the research there, and he tried to warn his colleague Sarah Whitaker. But Sarah wasn't buying it. So what does David do? Well, he sneaks into the lab, of course, grabs a sample of the virus, and gets infected in the process. After a disastrous encounter with a reporter at a convention in Portland, he spreads the virus. In just 2 weeks, the world is overrun, and 1/3 of the population is wiped out. This all happens before we even start the game. Anyways, so after getting into the stuff that happens before we even start the game, we're not going to talk about our main character, whose name is Deacon St. John. He served in the US Army and he was in Afghanistan. He then came back home and decided to just leave the army to join the Mongrels Motorcycle Club, where he'd meet his best friend Boozer. Along the way, Deacon meets Sarah, the love of his life. How did they meet, you ask? Classic romance. Her car broke down. He helped her out, and the rest was history. They quickly fell for each other, got married in a quick, low-key ceremony with only Boozer present. Now, while escaping the outbreak, Sarah gets stabbed and the chaos hits its peak. They hear about an evacuation site at the old brewery, so they rush there. But of course, it's a disaster. The Nero worker, O'Brien, won't let them on the helicopter because there is no room. Deacon's heart breaks as he sends Sarah off to safety and decides to stay behind with Boozer, who needs him more. Fast forward 2 years later, and Deacon and Boozer are bounty hunters at this point. They're surviving in a world that's fallen apart. Deacon has accepted the fact that Sarah's probably dead because he went back to the camp where she was supposed to be at, but her camp was overrun. There was no evidence, really, that she was still alive. Now, they're chasing a guy named Leon down, and they eventually catch him and kill him. I obviously skipped the part because it's pretty boring. It's just a tutorial but glorified. But here's the catch. Deacon's Spike breaks down. Classic Deacon. They manage to get the parts they need at Crazy Willie's garage, but things go south pretty quickly. Freakers everywhere, so Boozer distracts them with his bike while Deacon sneaks inside to grab the part. When Deacon returns, he hears Boozer over the radio getting tortured by a cult called the Rippers. These guys? Creepy, scarred, and completely out of their minds on PCP or whatever they got their hands on. Deacon saves Boozer, but his arm is in bad shape. So, Deacon's journey starts right now, where we need to go to Copeland Camp, and funnily enough, Copeland Camp is the first settlement we encounter, and to put it in simpler words, Copeland Camp is what I imagine America being like as an European, where basically they're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists and gun-wielding people. But, yeah, so he goes there to do bounty targets and whatnot to get supplies for Boozer. Meanwhile, Boozer's condition is getting worse. Well, he's hallucinating and paranoid, and Deacon has to make do with whatever he can find on the road. Deacon also tracks down Leon's stash in a graveyard, only to spot a Nero helicopter. This is where the mystery of the Freakers starts unraveling, as Nero is studying the Freakers, and Deacon hears the name O'Brien. Yes, the O'Brien who abandoned Deacon and Sarah in the early days. Deacon is obsessed with finding out more about O'Brien. Later on in the game, we get to Tucker's camp. Well, if I had to sum it up again, I'd probably say just one word. Slavery. The whole camp is run by this old lady called Tucker. And well, let's say she's not very morally, good.
Only folks survived were those mean enough, nasty enough to out-freak the freaks.
I'd say she has a very questionable system, but the first big choice Deacon faces is whether to give Leon's stash to Copeland or to Tucker. Give it to Copeland and you get free bike parts. Give it to Tucker and you get better weapons. Naturally, me being a, weapons guy, I had to just invest a little bit into slavery. Deacon eventually heads to Sarah's grave, where a flashback hits. We relive some flashbacks before the stabbing of Sarah, and we learned that she got stabbed by a newt. A newt is a sort of zombie. I'll get into zombie stuff later, but just keep that in mind. We then get to the part where Deacon is chasing down O'Brien and confronts him.
If you lived a few more weeks, you might have become one yourself. Now, would have that been something? What do you want? Stay back.
I just want to talk.
Nero Protocol 2-7 states clearly that if conducting operations in quarantine zones, that if I encounter any civilians or civilians, that I'm forbidden from making contact.
Really? See, that sounded to me like making contact.
Yes. Yes, it did.
You're alive.
Yes. I am.
How? How are you alive,
What?
O'Brien?
I don't understand.
Okay. You were there. That night. Farewell. The next night, refugee
Nero
camp.
Protocol
The choppers
2-7
were
states
burning.
that
Everyone was dead. They were slaughtered. Torn limb
Nero
for goddamn limb.
Protocol
All right,
2-7
listen up. We're gonna do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way, we have a little chat. You give me the information that I need, and then you go back to digging your way through freaker shit or whatever the hell else you're doing out here. The hard way. I crack open that little spacesuit, and then we see what your friends out there have to say about you breathing in all this contaminated air. So what's it gonna be, O'Brien?
Yes. Okay. Okay.
You remember the rooftop of the old brewery. I put a woman on your chopper. She was wounded.
Yes. I remember a knife wound. She was cut pretty bad.
I went to the refugee camp that you said you were taking her to. Everyone was dead, so I'm gonna ask you again. How did you survive?
We weren't there. We were diverted south to another camp. Like you said, the camp in Belknap was overrun, so they moved us south to a camp outside of Silver Lake.
Were there survivors?
You mean now? I don't know. I was transferred to the research unit.
Did she
Oh,
survive?
wait. I can find out. I can check. You have one of our radios. That's how you... I can't promise anything, but I'll check.
And I'm gonna go with you.
No,
Come on.
you can't. Please, you don't... Hey, you don't understand. They'll fucking shoot you.
Not before I shoot you.
Okay, look, if you're gonna fucking kill me, do it, okay? I did my job. Did that woman your wife? I put her on oxygen. I gave her an IV. I kept her alive. I got in a lot of trouble for that. She was septic. She wasn't gonna make it, but I got her to the MASH unit. I saved her goddamn life.
O'Brien, report.
I have to go. Please, you have to get out of here. You don't know these men. You don't know what they're
Brian?
capable of.
If I don't hear from you, I don't care how long it takes. I'm gonna track you down. And I'm gonna do a lot worse than snap off an antenna.
I'm sorry about your wife. But you're not the only one who lost someone that night.
Turns out Sarah is alive and probably survived her stab wound. Deacon's hope is reignited. We are given a task by Tucker to go get this girl. Her name is Lisa. So we go ahead and do what she asked for. We bring her back and Lisa is, well, I don't know. She's really happy to see her. And as soon as she enters the camp, she is instantly put into slavery. It is, I don't know why. I just started laughing the first time it happened, but she basically is sold to slavery and we sold her to slavery for weapons. Back to Booza. Booza's arm is getting a lot worse. See, his arm is probably infected and he has some sort of third-degree burns. I'm no medical expert. So Deacon flashback where he remembers that Sarah taught him that lavender can be used for patients with second or third degree burns. So Deacon, knowing that, goes to search for lavender plants. Now, here's a fun fact. Deacon is terrified of swimming. See, when he was in Afghanistan, he got ambushed while he was in a Humvee. The Humvee fell into the river and he survived, but he had to drag out his injured soldiers out of the Humvee. And yeah, now he has PTSD from swimming, I guess. That's not the most traumatic. The most traumatic is what I'm about to deliver to these zombies. See, I'm not the type of guy to go sneaking around and stuff like that. I hate stealth games. Personally, I can't play Hitman. I just had to blow everything up, you know? I'm probably going insane. After doing that, we get our lavender and we go back to Boozer where we try to, well, heal him. Hopefully, it works. Well, Lisa gets kidnapped. See, Deacon's day was already bad enough, and Lisa gets kidnapped by the Rippers. This leads to a mission where Deacon single-handedly wipes out an entire Ripper camp. So after that, Deacon rescues Lisa. They go away. He then hands Lisa over to Ricky, who is a part of the Iron Mike camp. That's a whole nother story, but I'll get into it later. Oh, Deacon is now trying to help Boozer because Boozer just almost blew his head off because he has sepsis and he's paranoid. What does he do? Well, he tries to break into Iron Mike camp and steal their medicine, but he gets caught and then explains to Ricky why he was stealing the medicine. And so we start doing bounties and contracts for like the Iron Mike camp in order to earn our stay there. Now, when we entered the camp, we had this encounter with Schizo. Now, it seems that we and Schizo don't go along together that well, but later on, Schizo proposes us his plan in order to get medicine for Boozer, which we accept, and basically the plan is to get into Reaper territory because there was a crashed plane there, and they go to the crashed plane and get the medication that was in the plane. But there we meet a new zombie called the Breaker. Now, the Breaker is a type of zombie that is like the tank from Left 4 Dead 2. Oh my god, Left 4 Dead 2 reference. I made also Left 4 Dead 2 lore, so if you haven't watched it, just go watch it right now. But anyways, we beat him and we get the medicine. We get back to camp and we get, well, basically into an argument with Iron Mike because we went into Ripper territory and we had this contract of some sorts, but we broke the terms. So now they're gonna head back to the Rippers and talk with him. Oh, I forgot to mention that, well, Boozer's arm, well, it got cut off and now he's wearing a prosthetic. I don't know why I didn't mention that, but I guess I just forgot completely in the script. Anyways, after going to Sherman camp and grabbing the keys, Deacon gets ordered by Iron Mike to go with Schizo, grab the dynamite crates, which are in a mine. Now, Deacon and Schizo both of them are skeptical of one each other. And we go further into the cave. So once they're going down, they're putting like flares on their way, right? And then they notice that, well, their flares have shifted places. That means that there's somebody in the cave with them. So both of them panic and scramble. And then suddenly Deacon gets attacked by a newt. And to put it simply, newts are like 12-year-old iPad kids. If you take their iPad away, they just start trying to beat the hell out of you. They're really annoying because they're small and fast. It's kind of like Minecraft baby zombies. But anyways, they chase down the kid. They ask for the keys, get the keys back, and then go grab the crate of dynamite. And they run outside. Now, once we're outside, Marauders try to ambush us. But see, they didn't know I had my 100% discount.
Hey, sister. Thought you just wanted to talk, I guess.
Yeah, you got it. Lay it into him.
Killed him.
Give it to him.
And I proceed to clear them with ease. Anyways, after those shenanigans, Schizo tries to convince us to start a coup against Iron Mike.
That's really what you wanted to talk
Hey,
to
hear
me
me
about.
out, goddammit. Just listen to me a minute. Look, I got a lot of friends on the camp council, and they agree. Most of them say the old man's got to go.
Yeah, that's bullshit because Ricky would never go for
Well, she's
this.
as soft as
And
the old
Mike
man, and you...
trusts you.
Deacon obviously says no and tells him that he isn't going to betray a friend even though it's the end of the world. After talking, they head back to camp. We come back at camp to notice that Boozer is gone. Now, we ask ourselves where is Boozer, and we get a real quick call up from Boozer.
Boozer, you there? Boozman.
Yeah, Deke. Yeah, Deke. Oh, I'm here.
Where the hell are you? It's getting dark out.
Where? I'm at the farm. I'm at the farm.
Jesus, stay there. I'm coming to get you.
And he basically says we can hear him that he's not normal because he sounds very drunk. We go ahead and search for him, and whilst on the search, we do eventually find him, but at the same time, we encounter this new zombie type called a screamer. What it basically is, it's a zombie type that just screams as loud as possible. Kind of like the witch from Left 4 Dead 2. If you don't know the lore of Left 4 Dead 2, I made an absolute great video about it. You should check it out right now. Okay, I think I should stop right now with these Left 4 Dead references. Oh, and if you're at this point, just subscribe. It's free. But yeah, we do eventually get Boozer, and we head back to camp, where Boozer thanks us. We decide to get Boozer a gift, basically, to make him happy. So, from all gifts you could think of, right? Maybe you would give him a car? Some gift? No. We make him a blade arm. Now, don't get me wrong, I could understand why he chose this gift. Now, one of my theories is that, well, Boozer is probably going to Birmingham in the UK and is getting for those late night walks. But it's cool, I guess. He got a blade. That's it. Nothing interesting happens. After noticing that Boozer is probably tired of working at a farm, we decide to take him with us while completing O'Brien's tasks. We then complete the task and head to meet with O'Brien because he has new infos on Sarah. I'll play this cutscene.
Yo,
Shit. Gotta stop doing that.
what you got?
Alright, look. I'm gonna lay it out for you, but it's not good news. I finally found a guy who was willing to do some digging through some files that they used to keep while they still kept records.
Okay, O'Brien.
Anyway, Sarah Whitaker, your wife, was admitted to the Camp MASH unit on the South Flats outside of Silver Lake. According to the records, she was in surgery for 6 hours and then was moved
Okay,
to...
so she survived. The stab wound, she survived.
Yeah. According to the records, she made a full recovery. And then she was moved to another camp on the outskirts of
Okay,
Tumult.
so she could still be alive. Even after all this time, she could still be alive, you're saying?
No,
What do you mean, no?
it was overrun. Everything was overrun. There were no survivors.
You survived. They survived.
Look, there was nothing that would have protected that camp, okay? Highway 97 is an artery. Infected freaks poured up from LA, from the Bay Area, from Sacramento. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of them. There was nothing we could do.
I get it. So you bugged out. Who did you bring with you?
Nero, personnel, some feds, people with clearance.
Nero personnel, the soldiers, the guys with the guns, the guys that should have been protecting the
There's
civilians.
nothing that you can do against a horde.
Oh,
They're
no,
too
I
strong.
know
They're
all
too
about
fast.
hordes.
Well, they
O'Brien.
know that there was nothing that we could do.
Oh, you know what you could have done? You could have brought a few of them with you. You could have saved a few lives.
That there was no hope, there was no time, there was no room, okay? We'd already turned on each other by the time the hordes arrived.
No, I get it.
Look, I'm sorry about your wife. I'm sorry about all of this. But you gotta understand, if you hadn't sent her with me that night, she would have been dead the next morning. You did the right thing. You know, if you had decided to stay, the only thing that would have happened is you'd be dead right alongside her.
Don't you think I know that? O'Brien. Thank you for saving her life that night.
So yeah, she survived the stab, but probably died at the camp, like every other one. It got overrun. So then Deacon, angry, goes back to the bike and, well, Boozer isn't there. He then goes to search for Boozer, only to find him in a small town nearby. He goes into the town and there he gets ambushed by Rippers. Now, what was supposed to happen is that the Rippers weren't even supposed to be there, because it was like outside of their territory or something. But they eventually beat the hell out of the Rippers, and then they go back to base. They tell Iron Mike and Skizzo about their encounter with the Reapers, who are outside of their zone.
God damn it, you boys crossed the Iron Ridge? Deke, I told you!
Just listen. No, Mike. They were here in Rogue Camp.
Rogue Camp. There were Rippers in Rogue Camp? You sure it was Rippers?
Jesus, Mike, yeah. They're kind of hard to miss, you know, with the scars and acting crazy, killing anything that moves.
All right, just calm down. We got a parlay with Carlos. Skizzo's heading over to Iron Butte tomorrow. He'll find out what the hell's going on, and then we'll...
You're sending Skizzo to parlay with Carlos. Jesus, Mike.
Don't tell me how to run my camp, Deke. Like I said, my treaty is gonna hold. Lost Lake out.
Mike tells Deacon that Skizzo is meeting up tomorrow with the Reaper's leader to discuss. Deacon knows that this is a very bad idea. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Boozer beat the hell out of Deacon because Deacon was getting angry and, well, Boozer just beat him up with one arm. That's insane, Deacon. That's a massive skill issue, honestly. Deacon heads back to the church where he married Sarah. We get the flashback, which I will show.
You've each prepared your own vow? Well, traditionally, the groom goes first.
I'll go first. Deacon, I'm so sorry that no one came. I guess we really pissed off everyone. On both sides.
I mean, not everyone.
But I want you to know that that's how much you mean to me. That I would give up anything for you. Anything. This ring is a symbol of my love. And it is precious. It has no beginning and no end. I love you.
Now, this flashback is pretty wholesome. After the flashback, we burn the church and then head to camp. Ricky is hyped up to take a warm shower. In order to do that, well, we have to get warm water. And in order to get warm water, we have to fix a transformer, which then gives the camp electricity. Ricky and Deacon manage to do that, and then they return back to camp. Back at camp, Ricky notices a wound on Deacon. Ricky orders Deacon to go to the infirmary so she can treat his wound. Now they go to the infirmary, of course. They talk a little bit on their way, and once we get there, instead of healing us, instead of treating our wound, you know what she does? She tries to get freaky with us. I was shocked when that happened the first time, but Deacon basically says, "Hell no." Deacon isn't feeling as freaky as Ricky, and he refuses her and then just goes away. So Deacon, instead of, well, giving Boozer a melee weapon, instead of him just giving a pure war crime, I guess, he decides to get Boozer a nice present. And you know what that is? Well, this time it's a dog. And the mission is pretty short, but we basically go get a dog and we give it to Boozer. That's it. Skizzo has a plan, so we have the dynamite, but we don't have the detonation codes. Skizzo knows where to get them, and it's Ripper territory, but don't worry, he's coming with us, so we should be safe, right? Well, wrong. As we're finding our way to the detonation cores,
Was the only way.
he just hits us on the back of the head, and we wake up tied up, and there comes the leader of the Ripper, Carlos. We learn why Carlos hates us so much. Now, a long time before the apocalypse, Carlos used to be in the Mongrels Club with Deacon and Boozer. His name before wasn't Carlos, his name was Jesse. But after killing someone, he gets kicked out of the club. But he doesn't just get kicked out normally. Oh, no. They burn off the tattoos off of the skin. You're probably wondering, well, how do Deacon and Boozer fit into the story? Well, Boozer and Deacon held him down while they were removing the tattoos off of his skin. So Jesse tortures us and stops torturing us so he can get Boozer and torture him too. Now, Deacon is left hanging right there. Whoa. And out of nowhere, Lisa comes and rescues us. Then we make our way to our stuff, get it, and also save Lisa. Then we're right back to camp. Back at camp, it's chaos. There is literally fire and dead people everywhere. So we try to rescue as many people as possible, but there are some that can't be saved. After getting into a ceasefire, we go to the lodge and see the Rippers and their leader and Skizzo. As soon as Deacon arrives, he tries to kill Skizzo, which is obvious. And Iron Mike intervenes and tells him to not do that because it's not worth it. Skizzo is going to stand trial. Boozer and Deacon head out of the lodge and try to plan on how to get payback on the Rippers. Payback time. Oh yeah. So, Deacon and Boozer head to the dam that's near the settlement of the Rippers. Why, you ask? Well, they're going to drown them all by basically blowing up the dam that's near the settlement. So, Boozer goes ahead and places the IEDs, and Deacon covers him with a sniper rifle. After that, they blow up the dam and go to finish the rest of the Rippers and also kill Jesse. We fight our way to the top, and there we find out only one of us can go up and kill Jesse. So, Boozer boosts us, and we go fight him. So this is like our second boss fight, and well, it doesn't take long, and that's what I love about this game. And in other AAA titles, it would have probably taken like 20 minutes of boss fight that would be pretty boring. But Days Gone is different, and that's what I like about this game. See, the boss battles, all of them, take literally like 10 minutes. And that's what I really enjoy about this game, is that boss battles don't have to be long for no reason. Now, we go up and fight Jesse. It is pretty quick. It took like 5 minutes. We do that, and after we're done with Jesse, we head back to camp. So, Deacon gets a flashback of picking up Sarah and remember that she has a high-level clearance. So then he gets out and contacts O'Brien, telling him to dig deeper, because she had high-level clearance, right? So O'Brien finds some info out and tells to meet up with him urgently. When they meet up, and O'Brien explains that he found Sarah's card, and that she might well be alive, but the camp she was taken to was taken over by some militia. And O'Brien tells Deacon that they cannot get him there because it's too dangerous. And so Deacon decides to head there with the help of Iron Mike. So Deacon asks Iron Mike if he knows the way into the Crater Lake, right? The Crater Lake is basically where the militia is at, where the camp was, and supposedly where Sarah's being held captive at. And so Iron Mike shows them a way to get there. And once Deacon makes it through the passage, he sees two soldiers getting attacked by a rager. Deacon kills the rager and then talks to militia members and asks if he can join them. They go back to camp, and one of the colonels gives a task for Deacon to do, And if the task is done, he will be able to join the militia and he'll get signed in by the captain himself, Matthew Garrett. Of course, Deacon being just built different, he completes it with ease. So we get sworn in and also Taylor as well. We meet Taylor in the beginning where he basically was new to this stuff and yeah, he's somewhat excited. You get a tour of the camp from Colonel Garrett and meet the officers. So I'll go over them quickly. So we have Dr. Jimenez or something. He's the camp doctor. Weaver is the crazy camp scientist. And so we're about to end our tour and we heard from the other colonels that we should be afraid of the Wizard Island Witch. So it's time to head to her lab.
All right, what is this?
Ma'am, I got everything on the requisition form.
Does this look like fabric softener?
No, ma'am.
Okay, why don't you read it?
Active ingredients. Chloroform and terpin.
Get out.
Shit.
Get out!
Now, I can't do this if I have to do my own supply run.
I got it covered. Lieutenant Whitaker, this is Corporal St. John. He's a new member of Kouri's unit. He's got some experience out in the shit.
Read this.
Read this. I mean, you can read, can't you?
Active ingredients, chloroform, aterpenol, benzoyl alcohol, ethyl acetate.
Good enough. When can he start?
Ah, I'll leave you to it. Carry on, Lieutenant.
Leave us.
Sarah.
Stand at attention.
Sarah,
Don't. No, you're dead. You're dead. You're supposed to be dead.
Hey.
You're dead.
It's okay.
You're dead.
I'm right here.
Wait a second. I don't understand. I couldn't find
thought
you.
You had died, and
No, we were overrun.
Who's alive?
And we had to go south. Nero, they said
Nero,
that no one made it
I found
out.
O'Brien, and I
Farewell
found a
was
way
overrun. They said that everybody
over the
was
mountain,
dead.
And I didn't think that
I never thought I would
I
see
would
you
ever
again.
see you again.
She is alive. So yeah, weird. I guess we have to complete tasks and stuff. In this chapter, we're gonna have a lot of similar tasks where we basically like go outside and grab stuff for either Weaver or Sarah to test. So it's pretty alright, I guess.
20 minutes later.
Yeah. Sorry, man, sorry. Hey, so, word's out in the camp that drugs are making their way in, right under the Colonel's nose. It's good stuff, too. Do you know anything about that?
I don't do drugs, Taylor, so no, I don't know anything about it. Why?
No, I don't either. I saw this guy, one of the new recruits acting all suspicious. He rides in and out of camp all the time, and so I thought I'd follow him, right? To see what the hell he's about.
So Taylor talks to us on the radio, as you heard, and he followed some soldiers. So yeah, Taylor is endangering himself. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. So Sarah gives us requisition forms that we need to complete. So you may ask, what's a requisition form? Well, it's basically stuff she needs for her research. And in order to complete her research, she needs, like, for example, like wheat or some stuff. We need to go grab it for her, basically. And also, I forgot to mention, Weaver and Sarah are in a race to create a weapon against the zombies. Now, Sarah is trying to heal the zombies. Meanwhile, Weaver is trying to make napalm. Yes, you heard me right. Napalm. Now, napalm is way cooler in my opinion, but whatever. So, we get the yeast and later on the silicate. And we also, between these runs, have a couple of conversations. So, as you couldn't tell by the crazy foreshadowing, well, Tyler gets captured. As Tyler was relaying us some info on the guys he was spying on, he then gets captured by them and they cut his ear off. We need to save him, so we pull up like SEAL Team 6.
Come on! Torture, do you? This. Torture, do you? This.
And just destroy the whole entirety of like a mini militia. Then we have to free Taylor, of course, by shooting the guy holding him hostage. I messed up the first time, I gotta be honest, and got him killed, so I had to do this again. But once we free Taylor, we get him back to camp, and there he goes to the doctor who gets his ear treated. So, as you know, there is a arms race between Sarah and Weaver. Well, now we're gonna complete some requisitions for Weaver. And he needs polystyrene, which is found in those birthday cups. You know, those little cheap white ones? Yeah, that's right. That's one of the main ingredients for napalm. Anyways, we go grab him and we get back to Weaver. Weaver makes the first napalm Molotov and it works somehow. I guess no need to get the F4 Phantoms out. Just throw some ingredients in a big jug and it'll do. So yeah, well, Weaver tells us he needs to try it out for real and he will radio us when we should test it out. Later on, Sarah needs a centrifuge for research, and the only place with a centrifuge is the college campus, which is not too far away from them. But instead of Sarah just requesting it this time, she decides to join us for a ride. After searching for the centrifuge and seeing the remains of people who were locked in the college and other stuff, we find the centrifuge. Now, we get out, and suddenly some marauders appear and try to attack us, but we fight them and they pull back. We then talk to Sarah about how much she has changed since the apocalypse started, but she's denying it basically and says that nothing is the same anyways. After that, we just head back to camp. So, Sarah crashes out and realizes she needs some equipment and she doesn't know where to get it. Deacon tells her that they could go to the Cloverdale lab, so Deacon and Sarah decide to head there. So once they arrive, they get attacked by crows, and they try to get in but realize there are people already in the lab. So we manage to find our way in there, and as soon as we enter the building, we get into a gunfight. There, we also see the old security guard who was guarding the place before the apocalypse. So we manage to catch up to him, and we interrogate him and make him open the door for us. Then Sarah, out of nowhere, just smokes him like, damn, couldn't you just wait? And so we get this dialogue where she explains that she feels guilty. After all that yappa-lappa-lapping, we head back. But, oh, no! A snowstorm happens. And we have to get into a cabin. Now, they find this cabin and they get in there. They remove their clothing because they were wet. And, I mean, they didn't see each other for 2 years. I get it. And so they did get freaky. So, yeah. Thumbs up, I guess. So then the next day they just head back to camp like nothing happened. Captain Curry does get suspicious, but just brushes it off eventually. So we get called up by Captain Curry, and he tells us basically that we need to get back to base ASAP. So we head back to base and see Dr. Jimenez dead. He was murdered, and the suspect is Taylor. So Deacon has to chase him down. He knows where he is because Taylor hinted at it when they first talked over the radio. He heads to the cabin where we see Taylor with the drugs, and he is pretty messed up. I'm just gonna let the cutscene play.
I didn't mean to kill him, man. He wasn't supposed to be there. Doc was a good guy, man. He fucking helped me. He helped me.
Come on, get up.
No. I don't want to hang, man. I don't want to hang. I don't want to hang. I don't want to hang.
Hey, listen to me, Taylor. Taylor.
You kick and you kick
Wait.
and you shit yourself. All those fucks standing at attention. And they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you. I don't want to hang. I don't want to hang. Please. Don't let them hang me. Fuck. Please, man.
Okay, wait.
So after making Taylor rest in peace, we then head back to camp. Well, well, well. Do you know who radios us telling us he has a new weapon of mass destruction to test? It's of course Weaver. Weaver tells us that there's a horde nearby and we should probably test our napalm on the horde. So we head there with Captain Corey to the horde spot. Now, it was epic. I had to fight the horde and stuff, but I did it after 3 attempts. And oh man, it was stressful. Anyways, with the weapon successfully tested, we head back to camp where we learn that Weaver won the arms race and Sarah gets locked up. She gets put like into solitary confinement. So, Sarah orders us to get some poisonous flowers for our escape plan. And so we have to go to some sort of swampy area, and we go ahead and go there, grab the flowers. I mean, it's a pretty quick mission, but while doing that, we hit up our homie O'Brien and tell him basically, yo, can you come get us? And he responds with, yeah, but first of all, go find some guy in a cave or some. And Deacon says, sure, why not? So, Deacon heads to the place where O'Brien's friend expedition group went, into that cave of some sort, you know. And then he finds the guy half alive and lets him speak to his wife, and then he dies. After that, O'Brien tells us there is a new creature there, which is really fast and strong. We of course beat him, and then we get attacked by a whole horde. We then also kill the whole horde, as always, and then we escape the cave alive somehow. Yeah, that was horrible. I hated that. It's D-Day. So, it's nighttime and the captain is holding a speech. And everyone is distracted. That's when we strike. So, we go to the place where the SAM launcher is, and we disable it. Then, we grab Sarah and go for the top of the volcano thing. I don't know. Where the helicopter will be and will pick us eventually up, right? So, once Deacon is on top, when suddenly the captain shows up, and at the same time the helicopter shows up. So the helicopter just kind of flies away. That's when we recognize one of the people who the captain was giving a tour of. It's Gizzo. Yeah. So Deacon, of course, reacts and tries to kill him. But they get held back and get all detained. They get sent to the captain's office, and there they get interrogated. Just take a listen.
I've never even met this motherfucker.
Colonel, you've got to believe me!
Enough! All right. I'm listening.
I am telling you, he is a spy.
Matt, this guy's crazy. You've never seen him before.
Lieutenant,
He comes out of nowhere and you're gonna believe
What's
him?
that camp you're saying I'm from?
You think
Lost
I'm lying?
what the
Is
fuck?
that it? I'm not lying. Have him show us your back. Huh? Show us your back.
Enough! That's my last warning. Now we will get to the truth of this matter. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Captain Corey, I forget, is that the 8th or the 9th commandment? I don't rightly recall, sir. Tell me what you saw, and don't lie to me, son. I'll know.
At Lost Lake Camp, he attacked a woman.
What the fuck are you talking?
He wasn't wearing a shirt. Son of a bitch has a tattoo covering his back. It's some satanic shit. It's some kind of dog, a dead dog chewing through a chain or something, like it was nothing. I pulled him off her. He was drunk and we fought like hell, but who knows what wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have been there. You make him show us his back, and you will see who's lying.
I'm sorry, Colonel. This shit is just so crazy.
Turn him. You wear the image of Cerberus, the Hound of Hades. How fitting that you were discovered ascending from the underworld. But you are not Cerberus, are you? Deacon St. John. He's lying. You hide behind angelic names and clothe yourself in lies! He got kicked out of the camp! You are Judas! And what about you, Lieutenant? How convenient that you were with the Drifter when the Nero helicopter came by.
Colonel, I do not know what you're talking about.
You were in a Nero camp that was overrun. How long have you been spying on us? How long?
Matt, I promise, I haven't been—
More lies! I expect this from Drifters. I expect men like him to betray me! But an officer?
Colonel.
It was me! It was me! Colonel, I lied. If you look in my pocket, you're gonna find a radio. Because I called them. I called them and I lied. I lied to the lieutenant. I told her that, I needed her to help me check a shipment, but the truth is, I just needed a hostage.
Deacon St. John, Drifter, are you there? This is Nero. This is O'Brien, Drifter.
I'm sorry. Corporal St. John is unavailable right now.
Wait. Who is this?
Sometimes, in the search for truth, the blood of innocence is spilled. I'm sorry, my dear. Release Private, Sarkovsky, was it?
Yeah.
And Corey, take this Drifter to lock up. Tomorrow at 0700, he will stand trial. And he will hang. Lieutenant, enough of this. We have work to do. Come. Tell me more about this Lost Lake camp.
Yes, sir. Anything you want to know?
Lieutenant, please.
Come on. Get up.
So after Skizzle basically signs our life away to be hung, we get knocked out. And so that's where Deacon Journey— okay, I'm just gonna stop with the bullshitting. He survives. Well, what happened basically is that Cap Curry freed us. He somehow got us out of there. So we wake up and we basically talk to him, and he basically explains that he's tired of the captain's ideas and whatnot, and that they just want to go away from this insane man. He invited us to go with him because he said that Sarah is lost anyways and she won't be rescued or anything. But Deacon refuses because he knows he's just better and can defeat a whole militia, I guess. So we head back to Lost Lake, and, well, the way to Lost Lake is full of militia soldiers. So we have to fight our way through them. Now, after finding our way back to Lost Lake, we see that the camp has been attacked by the militia. We then push the militia out of the Lost Lake camp, and one of the many casualties is, well, Iron Mike. He got seriously wounded and is dying. He then tells Deacon that he is the head of camp, because he trusts Deacon now. He believes that Deacon is a leader, and he believes that Deacon can handle this. Deacon tries to hold a speech, but there's just too much chaos. They go back to the planning room and plan an assault on Crater Lake. Ricky is against the idea and says we shouldn't do that, but Deacon convinces her and explains to her, we have to do this or else they will come with more men. Their plan is to basically make a bomb truck with fertilizer and creosote and just crash into the main gate in order to cause as much damage as possible, because that's where they held the ammunition. Ricky then agrees with the idea, and well, we basically do 2 missions where we have to get the 2 materials. So there is one where we get the fertilizer, so to get it we had to clear a horde, which was pretty easy. We do that and we get our fertilizer, and for the creosote, same thing. We have to clear out a horde at the sawmill for the creosote, right? It took me a bit, but I managed to pull it off anyways. And so after that, we're ready for our plan. So it's finally D-Day. Deacon gets everyone up to date to the plan, and this time we had straight for Crater Lake camp, but this time with people by our side. On our way, we have Boozer driving the truck, and so once we make it to the bridge that leads to the gates, well, Boozer has to jump up with us, right? Well, he didn't. He didn't jump out. He kicked us off the truck, and then we see the truck head to the gates, and then we see this huge fireball, and well... I guess Boozer is dead. We make our way across the bridge, which is damaged, but we don't even get a cutscene seeing Deacon, like, just confront his fear, right? And so we get to, like, from part A to part B somehow. I don't know. There's no cutscene between. But anyways, while we get to the main gates, which were, like, blown up and whatnot, we then find, well, chaos. Pure chaos. Everybody's just killing each other. We were enraged and we just started just slaughtering anything that looked like the Shoot's militia. And then we go to the cave. Schizo had planted bombs everywhere, and so we had to defuse them. Now, something that's really, annoying is that in this mission, there is a well-known glitch that if you have your graphics settings on high, well, when you get to the bottom part of the cave, so like of the volcano thing, you just fall through the ground. And so the only way to, well, fix that is to restart the whole mission on those settings, and then you can go ahead and play the mission. But yeah, that was pretty annoying. So if you see like the footage change quality, well, it's because of that. Anyways, we then go hunt Schizo.
You know something, Schizo? There was a time when I would have dragged you out into the shit. And I would have left you to the freaks. But hey. I'm not gonna do that. You wanna know why? Because they would tear you limb from limb. But you know what? They wouldn't enjoy it.
We get Schizo and we kill him. We then go further down until we reach the captain's office. I'll let the cutscene play.
I don't know when or why, but I saw something. A month ago, maybe, I felt something. Something I hadn't felt in a long time, and I know that a lot of you might have felt the same way, and I think that if we just can...
Deacon?
I'll have your sidearm.
Don't give it up. Give it up, man.
Sit.
Let him go, Colonel. It's all over. Your militia is done.
Would you like some tea? I'm sure you would. Sarah, would you pour the Drifter a cup of tea? The Ark was our only hope. You realize that, of course. When the world was cleansed, it was the only thing that would allow us to rebuild. Everything was here. Protected. Saved by the grace of God. We never did find someone to play the piano, though, did we? It doesn't matter now. When all this is gone, there'll be nobody left to hear the music. You've destroyed us. You destroyed everything we worked for.
No, Colonel, you did when you started this holy war. You know, given the choice between you and the freaks, I'm gonna have to go with them, because at least when they kill, they're just looking for a meal, and they don't kill unarmed women.
No!
We poison the captain, and he dies. Everyone's happy, right? But Deacon isn't, because Boozer is dead. Or is he? Ha! Get pranked. He actually survived. He just jumped late. What a total goofball. Anyways, then Deacon holds a speech at the end, and the credits roll, and that's basically it. Woohoo. So yeah, I'm gonna now follow up with a conclusion. So this video took me way too long to make. I started this video originally like November, but turns out, well, life has a lot of roadblocks, right? Life is roadblocks, you could say. Now, the story doesn't end there. There are missions after the main campaign, but I was just too lazy to play them because I gotten sick of the game. It's pretty normal. I mean, you get it, right? Once you complete the campaign, you don't really feel like there is like fun anymore because you've like completed the main stuff, right? But basically what the other missions are, there's a mission where we find out that Lisa has become some sort of bounty hunter, and she is similar to us basically. And then there is a secret ending mission where we find out the truth about O'Brien. We find out that the Freakers are evolving, and it's basically hitting us at Days Gone 2, but it will never come out unless, I don't know, some magic happens. Oh wait, they just released Days Gone Remastered. Maybe in the future, you never know. Most of the people are wondering, why did I make a video about Days Gone? I mean, the last video was about Left 4 Dead and now just Days Gone. Well, Days Gone has a special place in my heart. See, at the time I started playing Days Gone, I'd gone through something rough and, well, it really impacted me, like it messed me up. And so I discovered this game and, well, I fell in love with it. The story is just, you know, sometimes, I gotta be for real, it made me shed tears. Even though it's like the generic story, it's made me kind of like feel something, you know? And so that's basically it. But, well, the game was fun in sometimes it wasn't because it's kind of glitchy and they should probably fix that. But, yeah. No, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please sub or at least leave a like because this shit took me too long to make. That's it. Peace out, gang.